Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching our video presentation for English for Professional Interaction Test 4. This video is prepared for our English instructor, Mr. Airil Haimi Abnan. Today, me and my partner will present a topic of office problem, which is forgetting a name at the office. When you heard this topic, you may think forgetting someone's name in the office seems simple and nothing serious about it. Forgetting a name is normal thing. However, some people tend to take this as serious thing, as if forgetting an office mate names is a big issue. When you are calling the wrong name, it is nothing to be that worried because it is normal. But why this actually can be the issue we face in the office? If we see this in different perspectives, it's actually quite important. Forgetting a name can relate to our memory. So my first point is when you face this situation where you cannot remember something, you have shown a sign of short-term memory loss caused by stress. Short-term memory loss is when you forget things you heard, saw or did recently. It is normal part of getting older for many people, but it is also a sign that you are stressed and this actually can affect your memory. The effect of stress on memory include interference with a person's capacity to encode memory and the ability to retrieve information. Stress also can trigger your concentrations, decision making, judgment, and social interactions. This sign will actually affect your work performance if it consistently happens. If you are stressed by something, there is a fair chance that you never encode any new information in the first place. For example, at the time that your colleagues told you that next Saturday there is a management meeting and you did not pay full attention to what this person said because your brain was occupied with stressor and this information never made to your brain. When you keep forgetting things at the workplace, you may notice the change such as consistently missing deadlines, forgetting assignments, or needing extra time to complete assignments. This actually can result work significant issue and may cost employers, clients, project and profits. So on the next cutscenes, I will show you the example of the effect on your work performance if you're working in stress conditions. So, as you can see in this cutscene, she is working in stress and at the end, her work is never finished. Working under this pressure is never good. Remember to always find a way to avoid these situations. That is my first point. Short-term memory loss is caused by stress and the effect of it on our work performance. Next, I will pass the second point to my partner. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I am ZAIRUL bin ZUHAIRI and I will be explaining the second point on why we forget somebody's name. And the second point is lack of interest. When we forget somebody's name, it does not necessarily to be caused by weak memory. Sometimes it is because we have lack of interest towards somebody. For example, when we see a car at a traffic light, a Lamborghini next to a Pro2 Kancil, most of us will focus on the Lamborghini instead of the Pro2 Kancil. This is because we have a lot of interest towards the Lamborghini instead of Pro2 Kancil, and in results, we remember most details about the Lamborghini instead of remembering details about the Pro2 Kancil. And I will show you an example in the cutscene after this on how forgetting a name is related to lack of interest towards people. you could see in the cutscene, it involves Mr. Aiman meeting two new interns, which is Najwa and Said. And during the conversation, Mr. Aiman thought that Najwa is very beautiful. Both of the interns introduce themselves and tell them where they come from, which is Said come from UIT Ampera and Najwa from Unimas. And later, when Mr. Aiman met his colleague, Mr. Curie asked Mr. Aiman what is the name of the intern. Mr. Aiman could clearly state that Najwa come from Unimas. He actually remembered every detail about Najwa because he thought that Najwa is beautiful. But when Mr. Curie asked Mr. Aiman what is the name of the male intern, which is actually to be Said, where he came from UIT Ampera, Mr. Aiman could not remember anything. This proved that lack of interest actually makes us forget people's name. But in terms of memory, Mr. Aiman actually remembered Najwa's name and where she come from. It does not prove that he actually have weak memories. He actually have a good memories. But because of lack of interest, he forgets Said's name and where Said come from.
My third point is forgetting a name means you lack communication with your colleagues until sometimes you even cannot recognize your own colleagues at the workplace. This would leave a bad impression about us to our colleagues. Communication between colleagues is important to improve our cooperation in the company. Communication plays a crucial role in building authentic relationships, generating ideas, and helping a team overcome challenges and face difficult conversations. However, communication between colleagues does not only apply to your department, but also to different departments too in the office, because this is how we can share and exchange the information between other departments. Working in a company where there is open communications means employees are more likely to trust each other. They will also value feedback coming from their colleagues and not view them in a negative way. Moreover, positive communication in the workplace reduces unnecessary competition within the units and allow the employee to work together harmoniously. So bridge the communication gap between different departments. For example, we can use email or create blogs to exchange information about works. Take advantage of this application as a platform for better communications among departments to improve our cooperation inside the company. In the next cutscenes, I will show you the example of lack communication between departments.
I might as well go home and kill myself. God damn it, what is his name? I'm good, buddy. How are you? I'm good. It's nice to see you. I'm sure I'll see you later. Yeah. Yeah, you will. Champ. Shouldn't you go back to your desk? No, I have a thing. Oh my God. Do you know who that was? Please tell me it wasn't one of our CEOs.
No, it wasn't one of our CEOs.
Thank God.
He said his name was Carl. Works in our IT department. One of those losers.
Wait, what? I'm Carl, and I'm the only one who works in our IT department.
So in this video, we can see that the girl cannot recognize her own colleagues until another stranger comes into the office that easily. This is why communication is important between departments so that you can recognize your own office mate. Other than that, you should know that poor communications in the workplace can cause frustrations, confusions, and extremely tense environment wherein people are not motivated to be productive and are not inspired to collaborate. This can lead to misunderstandings, stress employees, suppress innovations, and reduce profits. If you don't have good lines of communications with each other and management, loyalty and commitment to the organization may suffer. So my third point is lack of communications. We will move to the last point from my partner.
So we already explained 3 possible causes on why we forget somebody's name. Now, it's better if we tell you what to do if you find yourself in the circumstances where you forget somebody's name. The first point is a normal approach or the easiest way of handling the situation where you forget somebody's name. The point is to apologize and ask for their names. By apologizing and asking for their names, it means that you have to be honest to the person. You have to tell them that you actually forget their names. But you have to be polite enough and smart enough not to offend the other person because of you forgetting their names. I will show you an example of a real situation in which where somebody forgets a name and how to handle it using this method. As you can see in the cutscene, it's Fikru, and he is being nervous after being approached by one of his colleagues he met before, which is Fatin. So, in his nervousness, he actually said that he actually decided to apply the first method, which is to apologize and ask for the colleague's name. So, what he did was, he actually, in a polite way, he made a statement, which is he said, "I am very bad at names." This statement actually to say to Fatin, to tell Fatin that the cause of his forgetting Fatin's name is not Fatin's fault, but it is his fault. So he continued his dialogue with saying that I am very sorry, which means he is apologetic towards it, and then followed through with, if you don't mind telling me what is it your name again. So he's asking Fatin for her name, and Fatin told him her name. So we come to the second method, which is a smoother and smarter ways of handling the situation of forgetting somebody's name. The method is to ask for a name, but of course with a little trick. So the second method is called to ask for a name but with a little trick. I will explain the trick in the cutscene after this. As you could see in the cutscene, it's the same person in the same situation, which is Fikrul, who is approached by one of his colleagues he met before, but he forgot her name. So what happened was, Fikrul decided to apply the second method, which is to ask for her name but with a little trick. How this trick worked is that Fikrul immediately replied the hi from Fatin with hi and asking what her name is, and he said, "What is your name?" For a moment, Fatin will feel a little bit offended because of the thoughts of that Fikrul actually forgotten her name. So what happened was, Fatin told Fikrul her name, and after hearing Fatin's name, he actually rememorized Fatin's name. Fikrul immediately replied. This is where the trick is. Fikrul replied with, "I know it's Fatin, but I was asking for your full name." So Fatin from being offended of thinking that Fikrul forgotten her name will turn the thoughts of Fatin to, oh, he just wanted to know my full name. And this actually avoid the other person from being offended. It acts as a cover-up of your action of forgetting the other person's name. But there's a high chance that the other person will ask you why were you asking for their full name, just like Fatin did. So the easiest solution to this, or the common solutions to this, is what Fikrul did. What Fikrul did actually was he made an excuse of saying that I actually have a lot of friends named Fatin too. I just wonder what's your full name is. That's it. So that kind of cover-up actually works to a person with regular names such as Fatin or Sarah, but will not work to a person with irregular name or rare names such as Curie. So throughout the video, we have explained to you 3 possible causes on why we might forget somebody's name, and we actually provide to you 2 methods on what to do if you ever find yourself in the circumstances where you forget somebody's name. I hope that you enjoyed this video and will apply the methods in your daily life, because we are normal human being and forgetting a name is a regular thing. It's not a big issue, but if you ever find yourself in the circumstances where you meet up with somebody and you forget their name, I hope that you apply the methods we have explained to you before. Thank you very much.